Camera lacking. A very good morning to you all. Is this voice clear? Is my voice audible to people? Will anyone say that the voice is audible? Good morning, dear students. Yes, thank you very much. 1 minute. There was a little technical glitch. Okay, come back to the text. So today I'm going to teach you another text. Yesterday we all have dealt the first paper, that is a hardcore one, the Geoffrey Chaucer, the Canterbury Tales. Hope you can hear my voice. In the beginning there was a little technical glitch. There was a voice was not audible, so I re-entered. Is my voice is clear? Will anyone send a message? Yes, today I'm going to teach you another important text, that is Geoffrey Chaucer's, Christopher Marlowe's, the Dr. Faustus. The Dr. Faustus is called as a Renaissance play. It's called as a morality play. So there are two important concepts in this class that we have to understand how this text, the play, the Christopher Marlowe's, that is the Dr. Faustus, which appears in the Black Four. So I told you this play is considered as a morality play. I told you this play is considered as a Renaissance play. There are two reasons why we have to call this play as a Renaissance and a morality play. To call as a morality play, there are certain representation. There are some inventions in terms of using the good angel and the bad angel. They are the human psyche which always construct our ideologies. whether to good or whether not to good and all that. Evil tells always to do the wrong things. The good angel tells always to do the right thing. So these are the two things, and the appearance of the old man here who instruct the Dr. Faustus in the play. So for these three reasons, we call it as a as a morality play. For example, let me tell you an example from the text. The conflict between the good and evil, it is there in the entire play. When you read Christopher Marlowe's this, the Dr. Faustus, you should understand that the conflict between the good and the evil is an essential characteristics of the morality play. Even in the examination, there will be a question on asking you to consider this play as a morality play. Then the first thing that comes to your mind is how this is considered as a morality play using this good and evil characters along with the old man. And then there is another significant character here, the good angel and the evil angel, along with the seven deadly sins. The seven deadly sins, the role of them, well, I'll discuss you in the further when my explanations of the play. So this thing you should keep in your mind. And coming back, this text, how this is considered as a Renaissance play. See, the Renaissance play is something to do with the rebirth of knowledge and the literature and the art. So here is a character called Dr. Faustus who invokes, who always thinks about the power, the desire, the ambition. He's a man of scholar. He's the scholar studied in Wittenberg, at the university. He's a great scholar. Even then, this scholarship, his knowledge on subject doesn't make him very happy, and he wanted to do something more than that. His love for necromancy, his love for magic, his love for the black art, which is forbidden to the good people. He wanted to do that. So here, a man of a scholar, deteriorates his journey from scholarhood to a mere the man of a magician, a magic. So this is the story of this entire, the play. Let me come back to the play, and further, in the back end of my lecture, I'll tell you a little more emphasis on what is Renaissance play is all about. So here, see, there are characters here. The important characters, I just want to tell you in the beginning, then I get into the analysis of this play. For example, in this play, there are important characters. The character one, that's we have our, the protagonist, that is Dr. Faustus. And there are other two friends called the Welders and Corlearus. And the Wagner, he's a servant of Dr. Faustus. And we have Lucifer, Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, and other way. And we have good angel, the bad angel, good angel and the evil angel, and seven deadly sins. So there are three different groups we categorize when we understand this play, that is Dr. Faustus. Okay, and coming back here, I will also remind you again, when we talk about the characterization, the characters of this play, we characterize into three sections. That, for example, the Dr. Faustus and his two friends, the Welders and the Cornelius, and his servant called Wagner. And after that, we have seven deadly sins, and the good angel and the evil angel. And after that, we have another category, that is the Beelzebub, Mephistopheles, and the Lucifer. So the good and versus evil, the heaven versus evil. So these are the components that we come across in this text. So now let me come back to the play. The play is this: The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe. So I told you Christopher Marlowe, he's an Elizabethan writer, he's a dramatist. And his characters always start a journey from the knowledge towards the adversity, the prosperity towards adversity. How they start the journey from prosperity to adversity? So here is a character called Dr. Faustus, who led his life into a tragic death. Okay, for example, when the play begins, let me get into the play, and then I just come back to my concluding remarks about the text. For instance, the first we have this: when the play begins, the Dr. Faustus, the tragical history of the Dr. Faustus, the play important, and this will be asked for 10 marks. The major text in the syllabus, this is the major text, like what you studied yesterday on Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. So here, When the play begins, the chorus appears on the stage. When the play begins, the chorus appears on the stage. Then what is the remarks of the chorus? Especially when we talk about the drama, either by Greek theater or by the Elizabethan theater, the characters, I mean, along more than the characters, chorus play a very significant role because chorus themselves they come and introduce the characters. What happens in the life of such a characters? You can see that even in the Greek tragedies, the way chorus come and address about the major characters like Agamemnon, Oedipus Rex. In the same way here, and this character, the chorus of this play, he introduces us about Dr. Faustus. What is this all about? Let us understand what does chorus say about Dr. Faustus. The chorus tells the audience that the play will simply show the changes of fortune in the life of Dr. Faustus. The chorus is simply tell about what happens in the life of the Dr. Faustus. And he tells that he was born to a humble parents. The parents of Dr. Faustus, they were very humble in the towns of Rhodes in Germany. And he belonged to the Germany, in the towns of Rhodes in Germany. When he came of age, he was sent to Wittenberg. So in order to study, he was sent to Wittenberg in the university there. And very soon he attained the proficiency in theology. So the Dr. Faustus studied very well, and he attained the power of a theology, and he attained the mastery over the subject. Theology means having a command over all subject matters, knowing history and medicine and whatnot, astronomy and everything. So the Dr. Faustus, he was very well versed in theology and the mastery that he gained in the university, and was given a doctor's degree also. And he soon became a master of almost all the branches of knowledge and surpassed all the scholars. And he surpassed all his contemporaries, all other scholars. And the chorus introducing her saying that this character, that is Dr. Faustus, he excelled in his academics. And what does he say further? But he became puffed up with the pride and arrogance. But gradually, the Dr. Faustus, he suffered and with the pride and arrogance. He wants to learn even more that, because when he attained the scholarship, attained the knowledge or a mastery or a subject and all that, he develops a concept called pride and arrogance. And what does it lead? What does it lead to him? And he became inordinate, ambitious to adequate supernatural powers. There is a thirst in him. There is a thirst, and to learn about the supernatural elements, supernatural knowledge, and he became more ambitious too. And hence stooped very low to study the practice, the black art of magic. So he stooped down such a level to learn the black magic. The great scholar and knowledgeable person lead to a level of a magician. How did he become to a magician? Because of his pride and arrogancy. So the chorus is telling us in the beginning of the play that the Dr. Faustus, he has a lot of arrogance and pride. And let us see what happens in the Act 1. So now the chorus introduces about the Dr. Faustus, and we learned something about the character. And now we are getting to the exact text. In the first, the act, what happens here? So the Dr. Faustus is sitting in the chair. He's sitting over there, and he reading and speaking alone. It's a soliloquy. Okay, soliloquy in the sense the one who talks himself. So the Faustus is sitting in his room and speaking to himself. What is he speaking himself? What is he speaking here? And he's to decide about his future course of studies. What am I supposed to do in the future? What do I do further? He has gained mastery over all subject. I have gained mastery over all the subject. So what is my further duty then? Now he examines the scope and utility of all these different subjects. And he thinks about the different subject. And he talks about the logic first. And logic fascinates him. But the aim of logic is just to argue well and nothing else. If I studied logic, and it is always deals with what argument and nothing else, and nothing is satisfying him, nothing is giving a pleasure, the sense of pleasure, and not even our logic. Then what fascinates him more? Then comes physics or medical science, which he has already mastered over it because he gained the doctorate in the medicines. But end of this science is only good Hell, although it can bring him wealth and fame, a law is meant just for settling with the disputes. If I study law, it always just settle with a petty disputes. So there is nothing new in that. And divinity may be better than others. And then divinity says is of wages of sin is death. So the divinity says that if you do something wrong, it certainly lead to a death and tragic. So he discusses and he contemplates about every the branch of studies. So after a long deliberations, sitting in his room alone, what does he do? And he does that. After a prolonged deliberation, the fasters finally makes his mind to study with all seriousness necromancy. So nange, I don't want to study logic. I don't want to study medicine. I don't want to study the what is that? The physics. I don't want to study law. Then what do I study? I have to study necromancy. Necromancy, it is a practice of communicating with the dead, especially in order to predict the future. So necromancy, it's a practice of communicating with the dead, especially in order to predict the future. So it is something which black magic, what do you call? He touched the dead bodies, dead people, and especially in order to predict the future and what will happen in the future. So this is the evil tendency, evil subject the Dr. Faustus he wanted to study. And something is and here his friends, the Wagner, he certainly was mortified by and scared by the decisions of the Dr. Faustus. And what happened? After prolonged deliberation, Faustus finally makes up his mind to study with all seriousness necromancy or the black art of magic. And he decided to study the black magic. And he's quite sure that a person adept in this art of magic becomes a powerful and a mighty as God. And he thinks that if I am command over this necromancy, I am as powerful as God. This is what led him to learn this forbidden knowledge, the knowledge which is not supposed to be touched upon. And he learns that. The fastest then asks his servant, the Wagner, to go to his friend, the Wilders and Cornelius, and request them to come and meet him. He considered the advice to be a great help to him to study this art. And Wagner, he decided to learn this. Dr. Foster decided to learn this, and he asked his servant Wagner to just go and bring my both friends, that is Welders and Cornelius, so that they will assist me what to do and how to go about this black magic. And then, so when he left alone, the good angel and the evil angel appears before him. The two angels they come before him, and what does he say? So, Akshita, you do one thing. What you can do is just listen me carefully. You don't have to, because we have given you the study material, and you can just go and read them. So now, what you have to do, just listen and understand, and whatever the point that you come across, write them in a separate sheet and understand. Just listen and understand. Okay, you don't have to follow holding the textbook, by line. So you can do one thing. You can listen. I'm just here, the summarizing the entire text to making you to give you the the entire summary, the text of the crux of the text, the in a nutshell. Okay, understand the text, and you can read and reread, and you get even more the command over the subject too. And what happens? So the good angel and the evil angel they came when the Wagner left the place, and they appear before him, and and the good angel advises him to study scriptures, putting aside this black magic. Good angel tells him, don't do that. Don't go against the God. You better you practice and study scriptures, the holy scriptures, and you'll be blessed by the God. But whereas the later that the evil angel encourages him to carry on this black magic. You just go and you proceed with your study, and a fine day you'll be a great ruler, and you will have all proficiency, and you'll be and all your dreams will come true certainly, and you will have such a power to come on, and whatever you desire for you can get then and there. So here good angel is there to help out Dr. Faustus, whereas Dr. Faustus is carried out by the words of evil angel, and he decided that yes, I should get all kind of pleasure by doing magic and by doing the black art, and he go to study necromancy. And meanwhile, the Welders and the Cornelius, the both the friends, they arrive, and the Faustus tell them that he has discarded all other subject of studies in favor of necromancy. Dear friends, come. I tell you one thing, I have completely discarded all branch of studies. For me, the only thing is that's a necromancy. I'm going to study necromancy. But both the friends were so baffled. They were so worried. How can you study necromancy? It is a forbidden subject in the sense like a study which not supposed to be touched upon. And you're not supposed to arise devils. You're not supposed to learn this art. But even then, the Dr. Faustus, he go along with, and he decided to learn the necromancy. And what happens? The Faustus, he's emphasized on this. He tells his friend, informs them that it is a magic and magic only that has enraptured his soul. My soul completely enraptured, and by this, the power of the black magic, I'm going to learn this black magic and nothing else. And his soul is completely determined to learn this great art, and he requests them to give him lessons on magic so that he may raise the spirits of the underworld. I'm going to learn this, and probably he does all kind of black magic. And he's just telling his friend that he's going to learn this, but not any suggestion to give up or quit this black art. And what happened? So the two friends are shocked to learn that the Fasters has gone such an extent. Our friend, their friend, has gone such an extent to denounce the God, denounce the scriptures, and accepting this evil, the black art. And they decided to inform to the rector of university so that he may do something to reclaim Fasters. And they decided to complain against this to the rector of the university, but they can't do anything because Dr. Faustus, he start talking to himself again, and he's very happy to find there is a great power in the world of magic uttered by him. And magic, that fascinates him so much than anything else. Then what happens? And he calls Mephistopheles and gives him great pleasure, and he feels that very soon he became a great magician in the world. And he talks to the Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles he's there in the hell, and he's a master, and he and the Lucifer and the Beelzebub, they're on the other side, they're in the hell, and the hell is headed by them. So black magic, the power of necromancy, will be given to the Dr. Faustus by Mephistopheles and other people. And here, he has to make what he has to make the negotiation with the Mephistopheles and the Dr. Faustus. In order to get the power, he should talk to Mephistopheles. And how does he say that? And here, give up, renounce faith in God and scriptures, and to pray only to Lucifer. You will get all the worldly power, and except the devil. You are not supposed to remember or pray for anyone, not the God. No, you should renounce the God, the faith in God and scriptures, and to pray only to Lucifer. But Faustus tells him that he has already done so and is completely surrendered to the devils. I'm going myself completely surrendered to the devils, and give me the power, and there will be agreement. And at 24 years, Dr. Faustus can enjoy the worldly power. He does black magic and art and everything only for 24 years. After that, the devil can take away his soul. So that is agreement. And how does it go in the text? When the Dr. Faustus wants to know the more about his master's, Mephistopheles tells him that Lucifer was also an angel, and he was also an angel. And after he did some wrong, he was sent to the hell. So here, the entire hell, it is demonstrated by the Lucifer and the Mephistopheles. And what happens? The father, Mephistopheles, then tells him with the remorse that to lose heavenly joys and bliss means living in a hell perpetually. For example, if you surrender yourself to us for 24 years, which means you are there to be in the hell perpetually, always. But Faustus informs him that he is determined to surrender his soul to the devil on condition that he will be permitted to live for 24 years. So the Mephistopheles giving him the power only for 24 years. And then the Mephistopheles will be his constant companion. So whatever Dr. Faustus asks for, demand for, crave for, and Mephistopheles is there to get him everything then and there. And Mephistopheles is going to be his constant companion to carry out all his orders, all his commands, demands, and desires and everything. And next he asks Mephistopheles to go to his master and carry his message. And so Mephistopheles is going to inform to the Lucifer that Dr. Faustus, on a condition, he is there here. And midnight is approaching, and now we are entering into Act 2. So the play has a 5 act: Act 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we are in the second act. So whatever so far I described, it is there in the first act. In the second act, what happens? So in the second act, the scene 1, it begins with midnight is approaching. The Faustus is alone in his study. The Faustus is studying here. He's once more, the prey to difference and hallucination. He starts talking to himself, and he develops this kind of, the soliloquy, talking to himself, because he's learning necromancy, and he has a lot of desire, a lot of aspirations to do magic and all that. And he's talking to himself. The Faustus ultimately feels there is no use of thinking of heaven, and God has nothing can save him now from eternal damnation. And now we understood that, yes, somehow I had negotiated, I convinced with the Mephistopheles, and having all the power for 24 hours, 24 years now, and probably now, in case if I remember God, the God will never save me at all. God is not at all will save me. So let me completely surrender myself to the devil. And what happens? So here, the good angel tells him again, please, you go, you pray the God, and whereas he can't do that. And whereas evil angel tells him to get along with this the study, that is a necromancy. So after the departure of the angels, the Mephistopheles appears again. So after the good angel and the evil angel disappear, Mephistopheles, he comes over there, and informs Faustus that he has secured Lucifer approval to be his constant companion. Look, Dr. Faustus, our master, that's Lucifer, has given the permission completely. And he has given the permission, and now, and you are permanent, you are completely, you can be here. And Lucifer approval is to be constant companion. I'll be your constant companion for this 24 years, and you can demand and you can come on whatever you want. I'm there to fetch you out. And further, and he tells him to serve him by all means, proved he is prepared to surrender his soul to the devil and renounce the Trinity in a deed of gift to be written with his own blood. In order to negotiate that, you have to write all the commands, all the rules and regulations, how you are supposed to be obey our duties and order. You have to write it in a script. Give it in a writing. So now the writing should be written, should be the blood of the Dr. Faustus. You write it in the blood, so that you are 24 years, you are there in a custody, so that you will be given all the power from Lucifer and the Mephistopheles. And what happens? He accepts the terms and conditions and writes the deed after stabbing his own arm. The Dr. Faustus, he stabs himself, and through the blood, he writes the conditions, and saying that, yes, I'm giving my complete surrender to you for 24 years, and I'm there to strictly adhere to the command and demands. And at first, the blood congeals. So the moment he takes the blood and started writing that, yes, 24 years, I'm surrendering myself to you completely, and the blood congeals. Because that indicates the divinity. The God doesn't want him to give up his soul to the devils. But Dr. Faustus, what does he do? And he takes, at first the blood congeals and makes him perplexed. And he was quite perplexed. How come the blood congeal? Blood. And Mephistopheles warms him up, and warms it up, and writing is done as required. So Mephistopheles, he helps him out the congealed blood to become the warm, and it became a liquid, and he takes and he writes the bond. And he tells that according to the terms and condition, Mephistopheles will be the beck and call for Dr. Faustus. The moment Dr. Faustus calls Mephistopheles, immediately, Mephistopheles will come and get everything that he aspires for, everything that he likes, and call for Faustus for 24 years and serving him his entire satisfaction. So after this, a stipulated period, Lucifer will get the full right to carry out his soul to hell for eternal damnation. So after the 24 years, you can take my soul to the eternal damnation. And this is what, there is a bond between Lucifer and Mephistopheles and Dr. Faustus. And now what happens again after this these kind of things, he's now very keen to have the most beautiful maid as his wife. So he asks for a beautiful wife here because he got the power. He can do a black magic because he's doing all necromancy things, and now he got the power. Immediately he asks for a beautiful woman, and Mephistopheles dislikes the idea of marriage. It doesn't like the idea of the marriage. And what does he say? Just brings a devil dressed like a woman who annoys him much. And Dr. Faustus, he did not even like that. And later on, Mephistopheles offers him some books which will enable him to perform miracles like getting gold. And he gives him some books, and the books helps Dr. Faustus to how to do some magic and how to do some miracles and how to get in goals and how to cause the whirlwinds and how to cause storms and how to acquire the mastery over the astrology and how to mastery over the botany and other sciences. So he getting all the power to be the best in the world. So Dr. Faustus, he's started his life from a man of knowledge towards adversity, and he's going to be a buffoon, almost like a magician in the hands of these evil people. And again, the two angels appear. The two angels appear once again. The good angel urges him to repent and have God's pardon. But the evil angels say that he is a spirit and he can now repent. He can't repent now, and he can never repent now. So the Dr. Faustus says, led his life such an extent that by now, because he has spent so many times, so many years, and now he cannot go against the hell or a devil, and he's completely surrendered himself. And further, the Dr. Faustus, there is a lot of conversation between Dr. Faustus and the Mephistopheles, and Dr. Faustus asks, who is the creator of the universe? And Mephistopheles, he doesn't want to answer him. He was reluctant, and he doesn't say, because if he says so, he has to say the word that a God is a creator, and he doesn't want to prove that the God is superior than the devil here. And Mephistopheles, he doesn't answer him, and rather, he just kept away from answering the question. And what happened gradually, and he does a lot of magics, and Lucifer is highly pleased and to entertain his show by enchanting dances of seven deadly sins. There are seven deadly sins, who symbolizes for example, the wrath, the envy, and then greedy, the pride, and gluttony, sloth, and treachery. All these, they're the human qualities. They all come in the form of, and they entertain the Dr. Faustus, entertain the people here. So this is one thing. And after that, the next, the chorus understands that the Faustus will now visit Rome to see Pope and his court, and also to participate in the feast of Saint Peter. So gradually, the lot of twists and turns happening in the life of Dr. Faustus, and now all of a sudden he is visiting to Rome, in a place, the Pope, and in the court, the way he participate in the feast, and Saint Peter is there, and because he is amidst of them, and he is in the celebrations. And after that, Mephistopheles, he tells him that they have at last come to Rome and are going to stay in the private chamber of His Holiness, and he's going to stay with the Pope of Rome, because they had a celebrations, they did all merriment, they enjoyed because out of all this magician power and all that. And gradually, Dr. Faustus is doing one or the other, the magical feast to entertain people. He has become he become gradually a magician. So that we find out how gradually such a great scholar of a university led his life to mere the puppet in the hands of the devils, and he become a magician. So now we have in this act where the chorus tells that the Faustus is back at his home after an extensive tour of many lords and visit the courts of the kings. So the chorus, he's telling in the scene. So now we are in the scene first and act four. So far I just summarized to make it to the entire text, to compact within 1 hour. I'm just giving you the entire text in a nutshell. What's happened? Hope you're able to follow the text and you're getting the gradual growth. How the play starts from the inception, and how this, the growing, and how you're getting the knowledge of the text. Hope you're getting it and you're able to follow the text. And So we already have given the notes, and the thing is that this is the classes where uh, okay, and yes, this is a level. This is the stage, the postgraduate level, where you student have to, have to have the develop, have to develop the level of comprehension and accuracy to understand while somebody is teaching. And if you have the text, you can just keep it yourself. Of course, we have sent you the soft copy, and you can just follow the text then and there also. This is the text. Probably after my lecture, you can also buy the text, in the bookstores. The text of Dr. Faustus, The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe, and you can just read the entire text. Okay, and then so I am in the Act 4, and the way the chorus tells that the Faustus has come back after the extensive tour and in the journey. And here, so he is even capable of calling up spirit from the underworld. So this person, I mean, Dr. Faustus, he has gone to such an extent to have a command over his necromancy, the black magic, and even he calls the spirit from the underworld. So if he does some magic, he immediately get that. So such is the the command that he has developed over the black art. So this is a very curious thing that we come across gradually. And now the Faustus is found in the court of Emperor the Charles the Five at the Innsbruck, and he's there after the Rome, and he visited to the Emperor, the court of Emperor the Charles Five in the Innsbruck. It's a place, and his great reputation has reached in the court. So again, he's there to prove his talent. He has been summoned by the emperor to demonstrate his miraculous magical feast for the pleasure of his majesty and his courtier. So all the queens and kings, and I mean, they summoned Dr. Faustus to do some magic. And but in a way, Dr. Faustus, he forgets that the 24 years is gradually, completely run faster, and he doesn't know doing all this magical feast. And Dr. Faustus feels that his days are numbered, and so in a hurry to return Wittenberg. My days are approaching. My 24 years are approaching. So now I have to remember that after all, I am there here to be damned. I'm there here to be completely surrender myself to the devils, and probably my life is Bhavya, see, you're asking, sir, please send the notes. What notes do you want? All the study materials are available in the website. Our university soft copies are available. You can only download that. Okay. So this is the classes where you people have to follow the lectures, and you people have to take down some points, so that helps you while you read the text. So now, after that, Dr. Faustus, he decided that he feels that his days are numbered, and so in a hurry to return to the Wittenberg. Wittenberg is a place where he studied, and he decided to go to the place. And then the Wagner arrives, and he tells his master that the Duke of Vanhold is eager to see his great magical feast. And Dr. Faustus, he decided to visit him. So first, in the Rome, the Pope, and after that, he visited to this the Duke of Vanhold, and other people like Charles Emperor. So one after another, he has been visiting to all the places to make his the celebrations, to do some magic and make them happy here. And what happens here? So there is one interesting thing. The Dr. Faustus, he immediately gets something to the queen here, the Duchess. We find that the Faustus in the court of Duke of Vanwold. So he's there in the Duke of Vanwold, and the Duke is already much pleased with his demonstrations of the great magical feast. And he has been doing all the magical feast. And Duchess, Faustus then asked the Duchess if she would like to have something special, if she does like something, so that it can immediately get her. And the Duchess would very much like to have a dish of grapes in the midwinter. So I want the grapes. Can you get me immediately? The Dr. Faustus, he immediately, through his magical power, gets her, the grapes. And the Faustus is suitably rewarded by the Duke and the Duchess. So they appreciated him very well, and they give him some reward. And now the final act that we have. So this is a very important act, so the way we come across the damnations of the Dr. Faustus. So how his last fragment of his years, like after 24 years, when the years are approaching, then how his life starts. How Dr. Faustus, he he expresses his agony for all the blunders, all the mistakes that he has committed here. And what happened? The scene of Act 5 opens with a soliloquy of the Wagner. So how Wagner talks here? He apprehends that his master he is going to die soon. Wagner tells that the Dr. Faustus he is going to die very soon. He has transferred all his worldly possessions to him. But the way Faustus is feasting and making merriment in the company of his scholar friends baffles him. Why the great scholar has suddenly reached to the level of being a magician? And he was very much annoyed by that. And the Faustus, along with the Mephistopheles and his three friends, enter the room. And after a long discussion, they came to a conclusion that the Helen of Greece, the world of loveliest of all the women in the world. Here the Dr. Faustus invokes the presence of Helen. Helen, you know that the Greek, the most beautiful woman. So with this power, the magical power, the Dr. Faustus, he expects the presence of her. And what does he say that? This is the famous line the Faustus tells here. The Helen, regarding the Helen, he tells, was this a phase that launched a thousand ship? There was a war happened because of this Helens, the Greek, the war took place. This is the phase that launched the thousand ship and burnt the topless towers of Ilium. Sweet Helen, make me immortal with a kiss. So he demands, he aspire for a kiss from the Helen because he does. And what happened? And after the lot of discussions, they came to a conclusion that the Helen of Troy, Helen of Greece, was the loveliest of all and the women in the world. And so that the request of one of them, the Faustus calls up the spirit of Helen and in the exact stately and splendid form. So immediately Dr. Faustus, he does some magic and the spirit of Helen, she present immediately then and there. And they're all happy about this kind of magical function. And what happens here? So as soon they depart, an old man approaches. The old man comes and tells Dr. Faustus, he's a man who gives some ethical issues. Dr. Faustus, why have you been doing all this magical thing? And are you not a great scholar? Are you not a theologist? Are you not a great, the scholar? And you've been doing all this. The syllabus is very vast. You're saying that in the syllabus there are 4 blocks. The semester 1, the block 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. Only block 4, and there are quite a number of texts, like 8 to 9 texts in the first semester. The same with the second the paper, and this is the post graduation. You people have to cope up with the text because here you can't expect a minimum number of the text years. The syllabus is too length in the first semester. You have to do it in a way. Okay, that's how this is the post graduation and master degree, and where you will have to study a lot. And when I was a student, we had to read double than what we have prescribed here. Okay, 30 to 40 texts, and you for every semester, in each paper you have quite a few number of texts, and you have to read somehow and to obtain your degree too. And the old man tells him, and he wants him that stop all this magical thing. And here, what happened? And Mephistopheles warns him, and you're not supposed to do that. You should be loyal to the devil. You will be loyal to the Mephistopheles and the Lucifer. How does he say that? Then Mephistopheles arrives, and he warns him, and he reprimands him. And you're being a disloyal to the devil. You're not supposed to do that. And he even threatens to tear his body to pieces for the offense. If you do so, and we will tear your body into pieces. That's what Mephistopheles tells. And terror stricken, Sona Kausar, you're saying the first provide the material. What material do you want? The university uploaded the materials almost a month ago in the website. You people have to download your KSOU WhatsApp. I mean the student app, and the way you can get the study material. All the university for that matter, because when the large number of students are there, like 2,000, 3,000 of students, the university is provide this facility that the student can make use of the soft copy using your mobile phones, using your laptop, or otherwise computer, all that. Okay, so this is in all the open universities. This is the recent development where when there are large number of students are there, this providing the hard copies could be a little cumbersome. So what happened? You people have to You have to read, that's what. And all of you are asking regarding the notes, you people have to understand, and you are asking certain doubts about the characters. This is what I always expect from you people, okay? And this is okay, fine, I'm in the fag end of my lecture. And coming back to here, so the Mephistopheles arrives and reprimands him. He commands him, and you're doing a disloyal to the devil. You're not supposed to do that. He even threatens to tear his body into pieces for the offense. If he continues to do that, we are there to tear you into pieces and all that. And he even requests him to torture the old man, but Mephistopheles tells him that it is beyond their power to harm one who is firm faith in God. So Mephistopheles knows the power of God, and despite he tells Dr. Faustus to give up the God and surrender into himself, because as he made some commands and all that. So now, so we are here, as I told you, and Dr. Faustus then, to satisfy his mundane desires, want to have Ellen as a wife. He craves for the presence of the Greek heroine, that's Helen, as his mistress, as his wife. And once more, the magnificent Helen appears and enraptures, and Faustus praises her beauty eloquently and kisses her fervently for heavenly delight. And he is determined to have Helen, and only Helen, as his wife. And he determined to have Helen as his wife here. And because I repeat the line here, I just told you already that he tells the word, make me immortal by giving a kiss. So he expects a kiss from Helen, and then here old man even he came and threatened the Dr. Faustus to give up himself, but he's not at all surrendered himself to the God. And here, okay. And coming back to here, we are in the last scene. That's a scene 3, and the final act. What happens here? This is the great death scene laid in the room of Dr. Faustus. So how is the death scenes of the Dr. Faustus here? So we're in the last act, and here the Faustus is talking to his 3 scholars friends rather incoherently, and expecting the devils to come and take his soul away in an hour. So Dr. Faustus, he has left only 1 hour. So he has completed 24 years of his journey with doing all the magical power and merriment and everything. And he has left only 1 hour. And how is he going to spend that time? Because after 1 hour, his soul will be taken away by the by the Mephistopheles, and there the death of the Dr. Faustus. So let us see how the last 1 hour was spent by the Dr. Faustus. And his friends think that too much of a lonely life has become a source of malady for him. Dr. Faustus, he spent his entire life in being alone, in a solitude, the life of aloof. ಅವನೊಬ್ಬನೇ ತನ್ನ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. He didn't mingle with anyone. He did not join his life. He didn't join with anyone. The spending life alone led such a tragic death. He should not have done that. He should have, he should have been with other people. This is how his friends are talking one another. His friends think that too much of a loneliness, life has become a source of malady for him. But Faustus finally confesses to them how he has sold his soul to the devils for enjoying worldly power and just for 24 years. And he himself is having a doubt. How did I surrender myself for 24 years to these devils? I should not have done that. Have I gone such an extent to give up myself to these devils? I should not have gone there just to enjoy this worldly power. Even the prapanchika ಒಂದು ಲೈಫ್ ಅನ್ನ ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ I have surrendered myself to the devils. Oh, I should not have done that. So the Dr. Faustus, he's asking he's doing a lot of interrogation in him. And what does he say that here? He has accepted eternal damnation of his own accord, and there is no way of escaping now. So there is no way of escaping now. The scholars and friends are much upset and tell Faustus that he ought to have told them about this much earlier. Why did you tell us? You should have told us much earlier. We could have given you some, the solutions and the remedy. But now everything is, outraged. Everything is completely outrageous. And now they urge him to repent and pray as God. There is no limit to God's mercy. And now you have to go and beg God. There is no limit for the God mercy. God will suddenly accept your words, and he blesses you. But now uh, but everybody left the place, and nobody can save him out now. Nobody can just save the life of Dr. Faustus. And now, and we are they have to he has to accept his condition. What is that? All the scholars have left the place. The clock strikes 11. The clock strikes, and the clock strikes 11, the warning him that he has only 1 hour left to breathe on this earth. So the Dr. Faustus has only 1 hour, to breathe in this world. And the deep anguish of his soul finds expression in a regret soliloquy. And he's only there to regret for all the mistakes and the blunder that he has committed. And what does he do here? He makes a fervent appeal to the spare of heaven to stop the movement so that the fateful hour at midnight may never arrive. And how does he beg here? How does he express his anguish here, agony here? He makes a fervent plea to the midnight may never arrive. This midnight will never arrive. Let the time stop then and there, so that I will have another time, another 1 hour to live here. And he witfully wishes that the final hour may lengthen to a year. This final hour should go for a year, so that I'll get another year to spend my time. At least a month, at least a week, at least even to a day, so that he may get a chance to repent and pray to save his soul. If not a year, at least a month. If not a month, at least a week, and at least a day, so that I can repent and gain God mercy to save my life. So the Dr. Faustus is repenting that. So much before we commit some sin, some blunder, we should always think that there is a God who is a benefactor, who is a protector of the entire universe. And Dr. Faustus, he go against that. He should not have done that, but he did it. But now he's paying heavily for whatever the sins and mistake that he has committed. And now he's doing all that, and at least a day, so that the God will save him. The time and tide wait for no one. That the famous proverb, the time and tide wait for none. So the time will never wait for anyone here. The order of the impending doom arrives him to a sit of frenzy. So the devil is the Mephistopheles. He's coming forward, and he's coming forward, and he's going to take his soul away. And how does he do that here? In this desperation, he appeals to the mountains to fall down to cover him. So what happened? So here he requests. In this desperation, he appeals to the mountain to fall down to cover his, and to the earth of wide open. If the let the cloud it come. I mean, let the mountain to fall down, so that it will covers me. I hide somewhere there, beneath the mountain. To the earth to open wide. Oh earth, better you open wide, so that I just cover myself there. And to the stars to rise him up like a mass of the vapor into the very depth of the dark cloud to save him. Let me save in the dark clouds, so that I hide somewhere, so Mephistopheles will never come and pick me there. And clutches of the devil, he'll never come and pick me there. And here what happened? But there is no ray of hope. But there is no ray of hope. There is no any kind of the hope here, but the only he has left with the eternal damnation. And Dr. Faustus, he bound by accepting his the fateful the plight here. But there is no ray of hope. The clock strikes 12. The time is approaching, and the Mephistopheles and the devils, they're coming here, and and they're coming here to take his soul away. There is thunder and the lightning. There is a thunder and the lightning, and the devils enter, they choke him to death. So all the devils see, because the clock strike to 12, and 24 hours are over, 24 years are over, and the devils came and they took his soul away. And the devils enter, choke him to death, and tear his body into pieces. They tear his body into pieces and snatch away his soul to hell for eternal damnation. Where do they carry his soul? For the hell, for the eternal damnation. So that is the death of the Dr. Faustus here. And now we come to know that this is how the Dr. Faustus led his tragic life. And he first, when the play opens, he was a great scholar in the Wittenberg in the university. He's a great scholar, and gradually doing all sorts of magical power. Though the good angel, seven deadly sins, and good angel and the old man threatens him not to do so, and he accepted the words of the Mephistopheles, and he himself, he fabricate almost a net of his own mistakes, and he became victimized of his own, and he should not have gone against the god, but he did it. And now in the beginning of the play we understood that how the chorus, he tells about Dr. Faustus. Even in the finals, the act after the act, there is a chorus. He tells about Dr. Faustus. What does he say here? The final act, where the chorus words are very much symbolic here. So the final choric speech moralizes upon the death of the Dr. Faustus. There is a morality in him, morality to the entire humanity. What does the chorus tell here? It laments his premature death. It is a premature death of the Dr. Faustus. See the title, The Tragical History of the Dr. Faustus. Okay, the tragical history of the Dr. Faustus. This is the title, the tragedy, how it began and how it led. So he says that it laments his premature death. In spite of all his scholarship, he's a man of a scholarship. He is a scholarly man, and it's an erudition. Erudition in the sense the one who knows all the knowledge, the branch of studies. Erudition, his vicious way of gaining power and position. Vicious in the sense with the bad way, with his, going through by the evils, he accepted his own damnation. By his own vicious tendency, vicious way of gaining the power, the position, the brought about his eternal damnation. He brought about his eternal damnation. This should serve as a great warning to the entire humanity, either you or me, because today is our platform. What we have supposed to do? We're supposed to do the gain the knowledge. You attend the classes and you address the, you get the knowledge of the people who are addressing you and giving you a lecture. That is your own fundamental duty. Okay, and I could observe you all worried about the hard copies, but you can do one thing. You can download the materials. You can start reading them. This can be done. So what happens? You should be very practical indeed. So I told you. So he's a warning to the entire the globe, entire universe here. The wise people, one should never dwell deep into such forbidden mystery of a subject. If something should not be done, you're not supposed to do it. So what happens here? Dr. Faustus did that. He dwelled into depth to such a forbidden ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the things which are not supposed to be touched upon. So Dr. Faustus, he did that. A mysterious subject as a rightly forbidden by heavenly powers. So heavenly powers tells that these kind of things are not supposed to be touched. Necromancy not supposed to be practiced. You're not supposed to be practice this necromancy. That's black magic. Whereas the Dr. Faustus did that. So the play revolves around only a few characters, and I've categorized the characters like we have main important character, the Faustus and his companions, and after that the evil angel and the good angel, and after that this Lucifer and the Mephistopheles. Even when you read this text, you concentrate on these incidents, and hope I have given you the entire text in a nutshell in 1 hour. I wish you good luck and read the text thoroughly and download the materials, and your assignment topics will be given very shortly. And the first time the university introduced this semester mod. So, and gradually things fall into right track. And hope you are benefited by this lecture. And the second session will be start now. And you attend the classes of all the 5 classes every day and get the fruitful result. And wish you good luck. And I see you tomorrow in the morning session to teach the text, that is the Rape Epilogue by Alexander Pope. I wish you good luck to people, and you attend the next class. Okay, yes.